The Irish look to bounce back on College game day as they traveled to Durham, North Carolina to take on the Duke Blue Devils. ESPN is in Durham for the first time in its life ever. It's never been. Why would it? Why would it? As we begin to get into this, the ACC, tell me who saw this. The ACC has 5 4-0 teams in its conference. And Duke is one of them. Duke is one of them.
Nobody saw that coming for one.
No.
Pac-12 was right there with them until you had undefeated Oregon State and Washington State squaring off last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming. Duke is just right there out of the blue. I'm becoming a huge Mike Elko fan. My goodness.
He's guaranteed to have another job next fall. Guaranteed. I'm calling it.
Promise you. I promise you, man. If I have an opening, I'm an AD in the SEC. Hey, Mike, what you doing, bud? I'm calling you. I'm calling your name. I can't believe that we're sitting here talking about it. I can't believe that Duke is a team hosting game day that Notre Dame needs to be worried about in the year 2023. And let me tell you, Notre Dame better be worried about it. They better not line up with 10 men on the field, anywhere on the field, like they did against Ohio State last week, like they've done against a lower level program. It didn't quite hurt them as bad, obviously, because it didn't cost them a game. When you're Marcus Freeman, when you're a good DC that is becoming a pretty good looking HC, how does that happen?
Oh, who knows, man? Who knows?
I mean, I know that there's a lot to manage in the course of a game, let alone a season, let alone that being your career. But that's bad.
Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, it's so bad. Well, consider this. Consider this. Say Duke pulls this off come Saturday night. Their floor is 11-1. Consider that's wild. I'm going to say this too, and I'm a big Florida State guy this season. I'm big on Florida State. I think I would put money on them being in the playoff. Okay.
Yeah, I would too.
However, I think Florida State plays to the level of their competition, and that could bite them somewhere. So, therefore, that leaves Duke and North Carolina as arguably your 2 best teams in this conference.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, and Florida State should be really grateful that they don't get the Clemson treatment where they have to, and the Notre Dame treatment, to be clear, this is a not game, just like it was for Clemson in week 1. But they better be grateful that they get to host this team, because I especially think that you don't want to go over to Duke, who at that point, if they win that game, would be 6-0.
Yeah.
You don't want to go in there and play to their level when you have, and I don't care how well they're performing, you have the dudes, you want to exercise the dudes. Just like, I'm not saying they don't want to do that at home, but you better be grateful that you get that opportunity to have that game at home.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. Man, I'm peeking at the stats here because I just couldn't help myself. Riley Leonard, he's going to play in the pros, man. He's a pro quarterback.
100% he's going to play in the pros.
But get this, he's 67 for 99 on the year. He's at 778 yards, and he's only thrown 2 touchdowns.
Gosh, dude. That's almost unfair.
And Hartman's like, hold my beer with 1,200 plus yards and 14 scores.
Yeah.
I think
just like I predicted a minute ago, I'm going to say that Hartman enters the interception category in this game. Somehow, he's not done it yet, facing Ohio State included. I think he's going to enter that category on the road in Durham.
Dude, I'm with you, because I feel that this is a lot like Auburn and Georgia. Duke's playing with house money, right? This is not a conference game. Their goals are not playoff. Their goals are, let's win this conference. And if they lose this, I mean, you might lose some mojo, but unless you just get blown out, right? If you go toe-to-toe with freaking the face of college football for more than 100 years at Notre Dame and the Fighting Irish and the Four Horsemen and all that crap, right?
Yep.
And your Catholicism and touchdown Jesus. Okay. Duke's like, watch us pray to Jesus and not Mary. Okay. So sorry. So stupid of me.
Oh man.
Listen, Duke's again, like Auburn, they're playing with house money.
Yeah.
Dude, what's the name of their stadium? Whatever it is.
The
Okay.
Wallace Wade Stadium.
Yeah. Wallace Wade, all 40,000 of them are going to have, blue hair, and it's going to be on fire. And I think Notre Dame's going to be playing with a ton of pressure. Like you had a heartbreak loss, and you've got the whole Stephon Diggs image where you've got, if you're watching me on YouTube, my hands are on my hips, and you're looking out, and Ryan Day is yelling at the reporter and somehow passively yelling at this old guy who used to be your head coach in Lou Holtz, and you're like, just what is happening? And now you're pissed off, and I think Marcus Freeman, will have these guys ready to go. I really like him as a head coach.
Yeah.
This just could be wild. This could essentially be, game of the year. The context that surrounds this has me so excited for this. I hate that Tennessee is kicking off at the same time, because obviously my eyes will be on the orange. But man, this one just absolutely fat. I might have to just record it and not look at Twitter and watch it full thing on Sunday night. This could be absolutely wild, absolutely wild.
Oh yeah. And we've again, theme of the day is that how does a team respond after a loss or a near loss? I don't have that same feeling here though. Obviously, okay. I think Notre Dame could respond huge. I really do. But I think this is a nightmare place to go after a loss, and especially
Wallace Wade Stadium.
No. Sure, because that's where the game's being played.
Do you mean the scenario? Duke. The scenario?
Yeah. I think the venue notwithstanding, but undefeated, scrappy as heck Duke, that they're not as talented as Clemson, and they took it to them 28-7. They gift wrapped them the only touchdown that they had in the game. Now, Clemson shot themselves in the foot, sure, but I'm willing to say that Clemson is more talented than Notre Dame everywhere but quarterback. I mean, I'm just right there at that position.
Defensively, I'll agree to that. Defensively,
I'll say this: I love Estime. I love that. I've never loved a Notre Dame player before. I love that guy. He's super fun to watch. He runs like a freight train. But this is not a great spot to go to after a soul crushing loss, where you had 10 men on the field.
Oh gosh!
I mean, my God. This is not the place to be. You want like, give me UT Chattanooga or somebody like that, or Austin Peay after a soul crushing loss, and let me try to get right or play uninspired and still win, whatever. If they're down, I think Duke will expose the heck out of that.
You mean if they're emotionally down? If they're
emotionally or if they're not in the right headspace, I think Duke will expose the mess out of that.
Yeah. Blessed are the poor in spirit only matters in the spiritual, not in the terms of football. Oh my gosh,
dude.
I just realized, Notre Dame is over here. They're the Catholics, and they're getting ready to go up against the Devils. This is going to be wild. All right, let's get into previews and predictions. Real quick, before we do that, you talking about Notre Dame, Estime being, your favorite Notre Dame player. I really like Sam Hartman. I really, really do.
Yeah, it's hard not to. I think
he'll fall into that category for me. All right, well, Duke and Notre Dame. ESPN FBI has got Notre Dame at 69.4. We've got a spread in Notre Dame's favor of 5.5. We have a spread in Notre Dame's favor against Duke in Wallace Wade Stadium at 5.5. The Lord Jesus, did I miss the trumpet? Is it coming back? I mean, what in the world is going on? 5.5 over under set at an even 53. 40,000 people inside of Wallace Wade Stadium are going to be on fire. There might not be a single Notre Dame fan in the crowd. It might just be covered in blue because they're worried they're going to be carrying around their crosses and yelling and throwing water at people because they're like, you've got the devil in you. All right, whatever. We got to make previews and predictions. Oh my gosh, this game has more than just the football element to it. It's got the spiritual element to it. Can I please get a Catholic priest on the sideline just so I can just see the whole thing? All right, here we go. Make your preview and prediction. Go ahead.
All right, man. Notre Dame. No. Excuse me. Duke covers, but Notre Dame wins the squeaker of all squeakers. I don't even know if I've got a score for you. I mean, I'm talking about like a field goal to end it, to win it at the end. I'm talking about they barely escape this place. The only reason I'm willing to say these things is because I still think they're not the Notre Dame of old that was, out talented in most spots. I think they're very talented with Hartman, with Estime. He's been spread the ball around across the field to receivers and tight ends. He's doing his thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they're that Notre Dame of old that would totally drop this game. You know what I mean? Totally drop this game. But I'm telling you, they are going to barely survive. And like we joked about earlier, they are going to remember going to Wallace Wade Stadium where they almost kissed it all goodbye. Playoff, New Year's Six Bowl. They almost kissed it all goodbye by picking up their second loss before September ends.
What's the final?
I'm going to say they pull it out like 30-28 with literally a field goal that leaves Duke no time, or as the game expires, you name it. They barely escape this place. I'm
with you, man. I want to pick Duke so bad. I want to pick Duke so bad. Just history tells me not to. If Notre Dame was coming off a win, I might feel differently. Notre Dame's riding a high. They're like, oh my God, this is still Duke, like whatever. But they've been humbled a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take Notre Dame 24, Duke 20.
All right, so Duke covers in both of our predictions.
Yeah. Duke covers it in both predictions. Yes. You have got, if you're not a Tennessee fan, make sure you're tuning into this spiritual warfare madness, devils, Catholic priests, all the things. It's gonna have all the things that you want: drama, heartbreak, all the stuff. I mean, Riley Leonard might go propose to Sam Hartman's girlfriend on the sideline if they get a win after this and say, "Baby, Catholicism is not for you. Let me show you the dark side."
Oh my gosh.
And Riley Leonard throws for 10 touchdowns. I mean, who knows? Nonetheless, we're going to take Notre Dame to win this game in Wallace Stadium, but Duke covers.
Pandemonium reigns.